Evolve Beyond Borders is proud to introduce Julie Fernandez, the Global HR Advisory Leader at HerronPalmer and an HR thought leader with over 3 decades of industry experience. Julie is here to talk about Global Payroll Pathfinder, a hassle-free decision support system that helps determine whether payroll consolidation is the best option for your organization. Her workshop will demonstrate how an interactive tool can help you explore improvement opportunities and present potential benefits without the need for an RFI or any hidden costs. Learn how just a handful of data points can be leveraged to generate a diagnostic report and unlock a smarter payroll experience. Let's welcome Julie for her workshop on payroll consolidation, diagnostics, and benchmarking.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Julie Fernandez with HerronPalmer. I have 20 plus years of client-side advisory, and that's giving me a pretty unique perspective into many client journeys. So I'm very excited today to talk to you about global payroll consolidation. And today we have a diagnostic and benchmarking workshop planned for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to begin today by sharing some research. This is a recent study on payroll in the HR cloud that we did at HerronPalmer. And we had about 80 participants, large clients ranging from 1,000 to 200,000 employees. The vast majority, I'll say about 80% of them were global. And the reason I wanted to begin with this research is because oftentimes the move to cloud HCM is something that accelerates the journey in payroll and payroll consolidation. And so some recent statistics from this particular survey tell us a little bit more about HR technology and the move to the cloud as that major transformation lever. Here you'll see that across survey participants, 60%, so more than half, have already made the journey in their U.S. population, or the main primary population first, often followed by other countries. And we have others that were somewhere along the path. So whether they're implementing or just selecting, or as you can see in orange, 21% of participants are still on their legacy HRIT platforms. That gives us a little bit of insight into the maturity of companies and how quickly they're moving to the cloud for HR and what we might expect in payroll going forward. On the right-hand side, you'll see another survey data point, which is the length of time that these companies have been on that journey. And it begins with the shortest at the top, and you'll see quite a bit of maturity in the cloud HR platform model, with almost half of our participants having been in the cloud for their HR core platform for 5 years or more. Let's continue on just a little bit with some of our survey data as we set the stage for today's workshop. Here, then, after looking at what's happening with the journey to the cloud for HR, it's helpful to take a look at what's going on with payroll for the largest countries. This is often the headquarters company. Many of our participants have a U.S. headquarters, so we focused on that. And you'll notice that the longest bar here in the first graph is for folks that have also moved to the payroll cloud. And it's the same module that's offered by their core HR suite, so 45% of our respondents. The other almost equal amount have been in or moved to best of breed payroll. So we see 40% of respondents that are in best of breed payroll. So that would be, an ADP or Ceridian UKG, some payroll provider for their largest country populations that is specialized in providing payroll services and technologies. And in fact, there's even a split here across those that have tight integration, which is the majority of them. They indicate they have strong integration, and those that have a weaker integration and are probably feeling some of the pains of that. and still another 15-16% of participants that are lagging and in their in-house or legacy payroll technologies. Maybe most interesting in what's happening with the primary country or countries is the fact that whether participants are in the integrated HCM payroll solution for their large populations or in the best of breed model, about 1/3 of participants on either side of the delivery model are thinking about making a switch. And so we're watching that activity very carefully. And it gives us a little bit, as I said, of an idea of what type of maturity is happening in some of the core and the largest populations. And that allows us then to begin talking more broadly about some of the next steps, which are working with global populations and all the rest of the countries in our footprint. All right, so in working with the amazing event team at Nyamo, we thought we would try something fun, something interactive, and something that would give you immediate value for this particular workshop. We've structured this so that you get a little bit of value now, and you'll also get some additional value later. And to start out here, if you want to follow along now and get some instant results from the diagnostic tool that we've pulled together to discuss and give you some suggestions on global payroll consolidation and what the value might be to you, I invite you to follow along by opening up a browser and maybe a separate browser window. And you can use the URL that you see on the screen. It's www.globalpayrollpathfinder.com. And so that's the tool that I'm going to walk you through today. You can either do that live as I walk through the tool itself, or you can follow along on the slides and get up and go through the diagnostic tool later. All right, so while many of you are opening up the tool for now, I will just give you a brief summary of the second portion of our workshop survey, which is something that you'll access later. And that piece is a cost benchmarking report. And we've figured out how to do that so that we can interact with you and collect a very few amount of data points, actually as few as 10 data points per country. And we will push back to you a benchmark report that helps you identify across the world of payroll that you might be interested in looking at or consolidating cost and investment type data that's useful for planning or for business case purposes. And you'll see in the green box here on the slide the types of data that we'll ask for. There will be simple drop-down boxes that will allow you to fill that data out for as many countries as you'd like. And that will be a separate study with separate results that you'll unlock at the end of today's exercise and can go back and complete that, and we'll give you the next bit of information. Okay, hopefully those who are hoping to do this online have opened up your browser window and entered our Global Payroll Pathfinder tool. Again, this is it should be about a 10-minute diagnostics tool. You'll start it by pressing a button that says Take the Survey, and I'm going to talk you through it a little bit as a part of today's workshop. All right. We've organized the Global Payroll Consolidation Diagnostic tool into 3 parts. And across those 3 parts, there's a total of 16 easy questions, and you'll choose answers from a scale or a range of 1 to 5 for each of those 16 questions. And I don't think we could make it any easier than that, right? So easy peasy. Here we go. The 3 parts are improvement opportunity questions, business case type questions, and questions related to complexity. Okay, first of all, if you're clicking along and you said take the survey in your open browser window or following along with the slide, you should notice at the top a progress bar. That is going to be your motivation to keep moving through. I mean, you'll be done in no time, really. And essentially, on each of our scores, you'll notice kind of a range, low to high, 1 to 5. And the idea is that for consolidation, lesser readiness or lesser need, because maybe you're already there, or high barriers, things that are unfavorable to consolidation are generally on the left-hand side. And things that would encourage consolidation are generally going to be on the right-hand side. And those would be things that indicate maybe some higher impact or a greater likelihood of success or of savings or outcomes on the right-hand side. If you're in the tool, you're looking at dimension number 1, and that is current fragmentation. And so we're going to start out with that question. And what I'm planning to do is just voice over each of the 6 dimensions. There's 6 for improvement opportunity. And if you're in the tool, just go ahead and choose your answers as we go along based on your particular company and global circumstances. So in fragmentation, the idea here is that fragmentation of the payroll ecosystem can cause a number of different challenges, including visibility to cost, compliance risk, and ability to analyze the enterprise-wide pay trends. And so choose your answer here regarding the degree of fragmentation that exists in your environment today. Go ahead and select your answer. And if you're in the tool, you will have moved on to the next dimension, which is HCM consolidation. And on the left, if your company has master data that's still kind of all over the place, then you'll want to be choosing something over on the low or the left-hand side of the scale. Enterprises with fully deployed core HCM platforms will end up choosing a value further on the right because you'll have a higher success rate in payroll consolidation and tend to have kind of more mature integration capabilities and more standard master data. Choose your answer and keep clicking through. The third dimension is payroll integration, and that might be integration to HR or to general ledger, especially those integrations. And HR payroll integration becomes a priority when HR deploys a global HR system, and it's intended to be the system of record. So we want to ideally avoid situations where the employee master data is up to date in the local sources first, so your local payroll or time systems. That happens more often if you're choosing something on the left-hand side of the scale, and not driven by your HR master data and harmonized general ledger. If that's your situation, then you're more likely to choose a score or a rating on the right. I trust those of you doing this actively in the tool are clicking right through. And your next dimension is going to be compliance. So if you have a decentralized payroll today and local-only visibility, payroll software and systems like Excel in your countries today, you'll be scoring on the right-hand side. Sorry, your compliance further to the right. Stay to the left-hand side of the scale for consolidated governance and countries that give you visibility to outliers and can help you with the rigor and minimizing risk. Click through, and your next item to rate is in analytics. So if you have all of the enterprise-wide time and pay analytics you need across your countries today, score analytics further to the left. If answering questions in aggregate about how much payroll, how much bonus, or any other pay insight is a rodeo or takes a village to figure out, then you should be scoring analytics further to the right. And our final question and improvement opportunity is on global process ownership. So a global payroll process owner is a job or a role that's given to someone to bring consistency to payroll around the globe. If you've never even heard of this role, you probably don't have one, and you're going to score to the left. If you've heard of a global payroll process owner, know who that is in your organization, or maybe it's you, then you want to choose a rating that's far to the right. All right, you should be seeing that we're moving right along and have gotten through the 6 improvement opportunity questions. So on we go to the business case dimensions, and there will be 4 of these. Again, if you're in the tool in your next window, let's just keep rolling along. The first business case dimension is shared services momentum, and the idea here is that paving the way for shared services, whether it's in payroll or other functions, carries startup costs financially, organization, and cultural activities that can take some time and can be a big concerted effort to put into place. If you mostly operate country by country, you're scoring to the left. Head to the right of this scale if your company has the basics in place, things like existing shared services teams or case and knowledge management tools and telephony. Keep clicking. The next item to score is vendor management. So if you're already there with central vendors and service levels, you're going to score to the left, and you're going to move further to the right if the description there fits your purposes and you have local HR and finance who wear many hats. Maybe they don't have the time or skills to maintain healthy and accountable vendor relationships. That's where you want to score further to the right for vendor management. Click on through, and we're now looking at headcount constraints. Along with payroll costs, which we'll get to shortly, scoring this section gives us an indication of whether you might require investment. Those are folks that are choosing a rating on the left, or whether you have a business case for savings. If you're pretty sure you have some fat to trim in people or provider costs, that's when you want to be scoring this particular dimension further to the right. And finally, our last business cost dimension is payroll cost itself. If you're pretty sure your costs are low, or you think that payroll is old and practically free, then you're way off to the left on the scale. Move further to the right if you suspect there's some material value to be had and expect to bring about savings where significant populations are on disparate platforms and you can do some elimination with your consolidation. All right, we're almost there. As you click through, the last of our 3 parts is complexity. And you'll see here that we have 6 dimensions to be assessed, and you should find those also in your tool with some drop downs that will allow you to pretty easily pick answers to each of our complexity questions. Now, don't overthink these, and it will go plenty fast and smooth for you. Let me walk you through what those complexity questions are. The first question is number of countries. So how many countries do you have employees in? And that will certainly impact what the potential value is of consolidation. My second complexity question is, what is the percentage of hourly workforce that you have? Again, those of you who are in the tool will see 5 different percent ranges. So pick the one that you think is closest to the percent of hourly workforce that you have in your organization. Complexity dimension number 3 is timekeeping systems. Here you'll see 3 different descriptions of what timekeeping looks like in your environment, from multi-country software on a single platform to very disparate in-country, local, and manual timekeeping solutions. Dimension number 4 for complexity is asking you about union contracts or works council presence. As you know, if you've worked ever in a company that has these sorts of organizations, they most certainly drive complexity, and not only complexity of the workforce that you're working with, but of the calculation rules and the ways that you have to interact with employees for their payroll in order to be compliant, not only with the local country rules, but also with the labor contracts that are in place. Fifth in complexity is the number of business units or legal entities that you have per country. This drives a lot of the downstream reporting that is required for payroll in order to appropriately reflect things in general ledger and finances. And your last complexity dimension is international growth. So here, I'd really like you to look at the options in your drop-down box, which range from no real expected growth and low growth to scenarios where you have planned global growth, or maybe you're in M&A mode and growth could come suddenly from most anywhere. All right, if you're clicking through on screen, I believe you would have just moved to the results of our now value-added diagnostic tool. Here you'll see, either in the tool or on slide 12, if you're following along with me, that we've unlocked a summary of results that are specific to you and the answers that you've shared with us as a part of our workshop today. Whether you're looking online or whether you're following along with me on the slide, you should see, first of all, 3 different paragraphs and ratings for your responses in each of the 3 parts and dimensions that we've scored. In the bottom, then, you'll find an overall recommendation that reflects the combination of your scores in each of these 3 different areas and gives you a high-level recommendation of the value of payroll consolidation for you in your particular situation. And don't forget, before you move any further, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a blue button that says Download to PDF. So if you're in the tool, be sure that you do that so that you don't lose a single thing in your excitement over the results. And moving on to slide 12, or scrolling down further in the tool, we have some options here for you to unlock still more payroll value as part of their conference experience in this workshop. Of course, our friends at Niyama would be very happy to speak with you, and so that you'll see on screen or reflected in this particular slide an area where you can reach out and talk to folks at Niyama who have expertise in these markets and working with international employees and international payrolls. But more important to me anyways, is making sure that you don't miss the chance to unlock multi-country fee range benchmarks that are developed by my global team at HerronPalmer. And so here you'll see a bit of a description and a button that says Unlock Now. And I would like to remind folks that are thinking about clicking that button and moving on to get some international fee range benchmarks that HerronPalmer is not a vendor. So we don't sell payroll software, and we don't provide ongoing payroll managed services or run payroll anywhere in the world. So that puts us in a very unbiased market position. We really don't have any downstream services that we're trying to sell you as part of providing additional benchmarks. What we do is we share market insights like those you're seeing today. We are certainly able to help develop strategies or roadmaps to help you with business cases or cost estimates. In fact, you'll be able to use our free benchmarks as a result of this study to do that without having to engage with us in any particular way. We can help you understand the systems and providers in the market if you need that, or help your team with transition. But what's important is for you to think about, if you're in the tool, clicking now, or come back and click later. And if you didn't happen to play along today, or you just don't have the time to complete the rest of the tools and you're jumping to your next Niyama session, save the URL or come back through and click later, and be sure to go all the way through to the Unlock Now button. And that's where you'll find the place to submit information on as many countries as you'd like. 10 simple questions, drop-down boxes for answers, just as easy to submit as what you've done today. All right, I think we've made it, friends. I hope you stayed awake. I hope you had some fun. I hope you got surprisingly great value on the fly for today's Global Payroll Pathfinder tool. And we're excited to unlock benchmarks or reach out for a next conversation if you choose to do that. You should be seeing my contact info now. All right, I think we've hit the end today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for the Payroll Consolidation, Diagnostic and Benchmarks workshop. The other thing that I would like to mention is that we'll have some handouts in our virtual vendor shop for you as well. If you missed last year's session on the different types of benchmarks that you can conduct in order to get yourself some information and when to use each type of benchmark, you'll find that information there. If you'd like some recent blogs and materials, we've also prepared a number of those for you. So please don't miss the virtual provider stations and areas where I understand you'll be able to find some of the information and content that you may have missed in prior NIAMO sessions. If you have very complex global payroll, a complex global footprint, or you're growing or you're anticipating growing, I look forward to you walking through this tool. Hopefully you'll find some amazing value out of it, and we'll be very happy for your feedback or any questions that you have about what the opportunities are in this space. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of the event.